Perfect, thank you. So first of all, thank you, Christian. So my name is Artur Mizia. I'm the chief editor at MediaPress, and I'm responsible for our international business. I'm familiar with the company MediaPress for the last 15 years, so I know all these previous versions of our Hubert tools like Fred, Hubert, Tina, Phil. So they are also, from this editorial point of view, my children. So in the past, I was responsible for the implementation of our biggest clients for these big publishing houses like Funke Medien, Bauer, Binding, RTV, Bertelsmann, Aller, and also for the integration of our subsidiaries in Berlin, Paris, Strasbourg, Novi Sad, Subotica, Sofia, and so on. So today I will show you in my presentation the way to produce a magazine from cover to cover in an automated way, and I will try to show you also some of the advantages of the Hubert system. It won't take so long. There should be something, I should be ready in about 45 minutes, and I hope you will enjoy it. Okay, so let's start. Christian Bartosz, could you please confirm you can see my presentation?
Yes, perfect.
Perfect. 1 second. Sorry to make it a little bit so. 1 second. Other side and let's see. Okay, let's start. So let's start with some keywords, a small introduction about Hubert. What does Hubert? It contains all modules needed to produce publications from the beginning, so from the adding a new issue and planning for till the final end, so to the step where we send the files to the print shop. One of the advantages is that all departments from the company are working in one system. So there is no need that everybody works in his tools, that IT works in something else and the graphic department has their own tools. No, the graphic department, IT department, editors, the production staff, and the persons responsible for sending files, the final files to the printer, are working in one system. So it helps you also to integrate new stuff in the current production. So in the case you have too many sick leaves, there is this vacation period, or you are before Christmas, Easter, it's easy to integrate new stuff. So you can add in an easy way freelancers without a big introduction and huge training. What does it also? It helps you to separate the role of graphic designer and editor. So in Hubert, the graphic designer is responsible for the preparation of the page, templates, styles, typologies, snippets, but the editor don't have to know the format things. So he can focus on the content, on the pictures, on the selection he has to make. So he don't focus on this technical part. He has to focus on brilliant content, a good looking page, and he don't focus on this technical part of work. It's a duty, it's the issue for the technical stuff. We are producing 40,000 pages with the system, and there are small newspapers, there are medium-sized clients, big publishing houses. So the same, we are targeting all size of clients. We can deliver directly from the system data from produce it in Hubert to websites, to any kind of services for EPG. This asset management is, as we look at it, as an asset management system. You can produce with the system news, articles, photos. You can handle stock exchange, weather, for TV guides, listings. It makes no big difference for the system. You can handle all kinds of data with it. It is very flexible, so you are free to define your own type of assets, the properties, and you can build relations between these assets. So the major rule is always content first. We will want to focus on high quality content, on good pictures, but we try for the editors not to focus on this technical part. Editors are able to enrich data with all kinds of links and build relation between these links. Customer is free to edit this data, so he can add modified data, add some data from external sources. You can define your own relation between this data in a very easy way. There are selections made for highlights manually, half automatically, completely automatically, based on the properties you have given to us. You can add and describe and edit your photo assets. You can define your own copyrights and add everything around photos and description of this pictures, handle tags, handle all the stuff. And there's also automatically detection of similarity and duplicate photos. So in this way, you will avoid this way to reuse the same picture in the same issue. If it's so, you avoid duplicates in this way. As everybody know, the world changed 9 months ago. A lot of people, a lot of employees work from home. With Hubert, it's easy to do it. You can work wherever you want. You don't need, as a company, major hardware investment to start using Hubert. It's really easy. When we pushed our editors to work and the IT staff and graphic department to work from home, we did it overnight, and it was not a big problem. It worked without any bigger problems. So Hubert is also a global tool, so it works in a multilingual environment. All content and data is created in multiple languages while preserving the same. So if you have a content for, let's say, a movie which is shown in a cinema or in TV, like Titanic, behind it is always the same ID independent of the language. So in Italy, it's the same ID in Germany, in France. So it's always this two levels. There's the first level of language independent things, and the second one of dependent of the languages. So Hubert, as a production and workflow management system, you can handle the whole publication from the beginning to the final end, so from cover to cover. You won't find there a complicated structure for using and searching for some catalogs. You have there a nice GUI, what's friendly for the user. everything is pre-prepared by the technical staff, so the templates, the content, this layout planning, this formatting, InDesign files management, photo processing. So it's everything in one system, and it's really easy to handle for the user. And the system allows users from different locations to communicate and synchronize their efforts. So there is no need that somebody will collect all the stuff which is done by other departments and has to link them and bring together. No, that system takes care of all of these things. For the last steps, there's what's included is Preflight and ready to print files. If you prepare it, the system will take care that there won't be any problems with the final files. You will also avoid double work, so you will limit the cost, and there is always this synergy effect because we try to reuse all kinds of contests for other publications in your portfolio and also for future use. So if you write now an article about let's say Sean Connery, you can reuse it in a few weeks one more time in your portfolio. Okay, so a small summary, what Hubert does, it contains all modules, all departments work in the system, you can integrate new stuff in an easy way, and there's the separation of the rule of graphic designer and editor. So what's the target? All kinds of publishing houses, small newspapers, we can deliver from print production or from data production, data to websites, to EPT services. There's Hubert as an asset management system, so you can handle all kinds of data. You are really flexible. You can create your own data relations. There's the main rule of content first. So editors have to focus on high quality content and create create linking connection, and there's the huge possibility of customization. It's cloud-based, so you can work from everywhere you want. It's global, so it's working in the multilingual environment. Hubert as a production and workflow management, it's as already mentioned, a cover to cover production. The next part will be about the workflow between the content selector, so this CMS part, and Hubert as a production system. You can use in Hubert in this content selector any kind of structured data from external sources, so Hubert can handle it. On the picture, for example, you see Hubert imports data from external weather data services, stock market data services, and external provider of TV, radio scheduled. Editors are free to add their own data, handmade data in the form of, for example, of articles, news, cooking recipes. They can also enrich this data with external sources by adding custom text, ratings, hyperlinks. Editors are also able to provide connection between this data. For example, by linking the handmade article with a movie description. it's always up to the customer to define the structure of the data needed for production. It can be defined on the fly. It can be defined a little bit before in the preparation phase. This makes Hubert extremely flexible. The types of data presented on these pictures are, of course, just some examples. This can be so not only this. It's not only the focus on this TV data, cinema, but there could be it could be weather data, stock exchange, everything what's structured. So. Everything in the modern world is linked. Hubert allows you to create links between the contents in the CMS. So, as an example on these pictures, there's a type of films can be linked to the TV or cinema schedules. In a similar way, the article can be linked to films, creating a nice way to present some film details. And for example, 3next emission on the selected TV channels present under this article. Hubert divides into two parts. There's this content layer where all data needed for production and the customer archives and article are stored, and this production layer where this content is used for the base for the print or data production. In this data production, a customer is able to define a number of products, newspapers, magazines, websites, services, and each product consists of content from the CMS that is to be published. Selection process can be either automatic, semi-manual, or completely manual. This Hubert system includes the whole InDesign-based production system. Customer can specify the master layout, InDesign files, all kinds of templates, and in the final end, what's also possible that we will make exports from the system without any kind of InDesign template. So for some kinds of websites or EPG services. So small summary. All external sources which are structured are possible to be edited in the CMS system. Editors can add and enrich data of any kinds. Full customization is available, so customer is king. Everything can be defined on the fly. We try to link all kinds of data and create our own relations in the CMS, and the client is also able to create these relations. All data is stored in one system, so there's always a connection to the database working in the system, and there's always one production system. There's a master layout with all kinds of templates pre-prepared by the technical staff, and with a big environment for handling changes of data of the structure, and also available for products without InDesign templates for websites and for example EPG providers. Okay. So the main points about the production in Hubert. The whole implementation is done by the technical team. So all kinds of templates, data export, colors, what's the left, what's the right side, is pre-prepared by the technical staff. it's a good way to split the cost because it's easy to handle. You can outsource easy parts of the production to low-cost places. The system takes care of the security of the of all processes. So all departments are working in one system. The system takes care of this workflow management between them. Remote work is easy handlebar, so you don't need large requirements for it. And of course, you are full flexible. It's tailored to the needs of the customer. Let's go to this more part for start working. Not theoretically, but this practice. After the preparation, the client gets the user, the editor starts to work. He has the possibility to add a new issue. Sorry. You can add a new issue. Select the versions of the issue. So let's say we have a versions with 40 pages, then a version of 60 pages. He decides by himself which version is needed for this time. Then we have a selection for the version of the pages. They are pre-prepared. We call it segments. So you can deselect them if you don't need them. You can select templates. The system takes care in an automated way to handle colors and other guidelines. There's a secure way to handle pagination, to handle profiles, and there's a automated way to import data, so no manual search in catalogs. You have a nice GUI, and there's this big advantage that you cannot make mistakes. So you need data for the current issue. You have to look for them, and you can make in an easy way a small mistake. So it's not possible to do it. So the system takes care of it. So in the production, the system will avoid gaps. So it will show you what is missing. So for example, Hubert can also sorry. So, for example, Hubert can show you what should be imported from external sources. Hubert is able for filtering, sorting pages. So it can be, sorry, I have one thing. Sorry, background effects. Okay, sorry. So you can hide pages, you can add new pages, you can communicate in an easy way with other departments. There are some workspaces in the system, so a full customization where you can decide or the system can take care of it, what is ready and what should be pushed to another department. In this preparation step, you can always change the order of the pages by drag and drop them. You can add additional pages from the prepared panel on the right side. You can hide unneeded pages. You can mark, add, hide all kinds of layers. You can change the pagination, add comments. status of comments, and you have a connection to a backtracking system where if you have any problems, you will be directly pushed to the technical department. What's a big advantage of it is that you will send also this context of the place where you are editing and where you have problems. So you won't get this questions about, okay, in which page are you, which step, which day. So the system will send with your description also this information about the problem. So the settings, what is possible on the side of the user, you can change variant of pages, you can limit view by page, article, categories, you can just work in the correct status. There are no unnecessary job breaks. System organize the whole workflow in a really easy way. You can work in elements, so not in whole pages. For example, there are 50 pages, and in 15 of them there are articles about a movie star, and you have just to work in this 15 articles. You don't have to open all these pages or all these 15 pages. You will be pushed to this we call it technical view, where all of these articles are prepared by the system, and you will work just in this article, so you don't have to work in whole pages. What's important, this article view, this technical view, is not prepared manually, it's prepared directly in an automatic way by the system. So you don't have to prepare it, and also if there's a layout change, the system will also regenerate these pages, and they will be prepared from the beginning of the production. It's really easy to handle, to split duties by working in these technical elements, and you can always add comments, information about the state of the production, and handle problems you can met during this production. What are you also able with Hubert to produce it in a really smart way? You can change page status, you can change the status of elements, of articles, you can generate in automatic way task for each department with some notifications. For example, if you have ready pages or prepared these pages and change the status, so other departments can work in the next step. You put that you assign or articles, or you edit this, so the proofreading department can check it, or somebody who will prepare the text will take care of these duties. If there are changes in the data structure, you can get a notification via email that something has changed, so you can work directly in this changed element. You don't have to do something manually or check for it manually. You can filter the elements by page, also by page status, by element status, and one of the big advantages of the system is that many employees, many editors, graphic designer, or IT staff can work in the same time in the page. So somebody will write some text, somebody will make selection, somebody will check the pictures, and somebody else will make the proofreading and prepare rest of the stuff. So the only border for the system is the frame. So in one frame can work in the same time just one person. So there are few options for building up the magazine. The first one is dynamic layout. We use their modules from the box, prepared on the base of the current structure of the page. Second one is the option to work with InDesign elements from libraries, where you can handle and change it in a very easy way and reuse it for other products in your portfolio or for the future use. The third version is third option is to use page versions, which are pre-prepared by the graphical team, or you can be completely a full graphic designer and create your own pages, which are every time built up in another way. So you are free to decide how to handle. This first easy part, the dynamic layout, used the structure of the page and preparation of modules. So you use modules from the box. The pages are looks like every time in another way, but you don't need InDesign. You can store also this version, so you can create a large number of versions of this dynamic pages and reuse it in the future. So you can create it by yourself each time in another way, or you can prepare 10 or 15 versions and reuse this whole templates. It's a really secure version. So you don't use InDesign, so you cannot make also any mistakes. It's really handleable it's really easy to use for editors. You have a dynamic view of the pages and the layout is not inflexible. So you can store this variant of layouts and use it also in future. The second option is to use InDesign libraries. As you see on the picture, you have a few examples of this library element. You can use whole pages, few elements, and you can create them and change them on the fly for reusing also in the future. So, and what's important, you don't prepare then later the content in a manual way. There's a connection to the database, so you prepare these elements, make them looks really good, and upload them. And there's still the connection to the database. So if you import it, you're on the safe side. There's always an option of restore of each changed layout in the archive for the future use or for the synergetic reuse in your portfolio products. They are this third option. This third option of preparing pages are page versions. Depends on category of the pages. Here, for example, we have for the cover 3 version with pictures on the top, on the bottom, or a bigger one. It always depends on the version of the content. So for each kinds of highlight pages, movie pages, or pages with whether you can prepare a few examples of it. What's important, if you got, for example, an advertisement in the last second, it's easy to change this version for a version with a place for advertisement, and you won't lose the content you already prepared before. There's a dynamic look of the layout, and you are full flexible, so you can change the version in the last moment. The fourth and the more for graphic department part, based on InDesign elements from libraries, you can create your own type of pages. So completely free. You can make beautiful articles, which are really the only ones you will find in that way. You can create your own frames, your text elements, add free cutted pictures, and what's important, you can import them back to the system. So for reusing an other publication in new portfolio or for the future. So always this synergy effect is the main rule here. So after preparing the templates and the view of the magazine, we go to the content selector, our CMS system, where we can search and look back for in our database and our archives for special topics. So not only, of course, for this data around TV or cinema, but also for weather, nature, for beauty topic. You can add pictures from database or from external sources. You can import the data from client's database. You can mix this data. So part of this data comes from external source, part comes from your from the client source, and you can prepare some relations between them, like on the base of cascade. So you need a rating from your archive, but it's not available, so the system will check the ratings from an external source which you have prepared. You can choose here and mark articles, create relations between these topics, and you can select the place order of this article. So which should be a big highlight, which should be a small one, which should be a extra topic on the edge of the page, for example. You can pre-prepare the content. So after you combine few topics for an article, you can prepare the whole view of the content in this content selector. So you prepare all text parts, you store them for the future, you can reuse it for your publication. You can make a global select. If you have in your portfolio more magazines, you can prepare a master selection. We call it master scribble, where you select all topics for this week, and you can push them to all 10 magazines, for example. And all this content which is prepared here and stored can be reused in an automated way for your web page, for example. How we can handle photos. We can import them in an automated way from any kind of sources, from the client source, from the external source. You can search in the database for it. They will be described in an automatic way. There is also this option to make this description manually. The copyrights will be handled. You can reuse them. The selection of the photos for web or for other publication in your portfolio, and also store it for the future. Also, these free-cutted photos from big articles, like you write something about a football match and you cut out a football player, so you can avoid this double work and cut it for the next time one more time, but because this will be ready and it will be in an easy way to handle. It will be an easy handling for the future for this photo. There's always a data connection. There's always a data connection with ID system. We tried to describe and make descriptions for each kind of content and build relations between this content. As I already mentioned, there's a big ID system and this rule content first. There's all kinds of content store versions for content, all types of IDs, topics. There are relations between them with tags. There are biographies, humans with IDs. So there are a lot of John Smiths in the database, but of course every of these John Smiths has his own ID where we base on it. If we are looking for, we won't make a mistake with these persons. it's easy to find and make a combination of topics. Let's say we are looking for Sean Connery and the brand James Bond. So the content selector will find all kinds of movies in the next days around Sean Connery, around James Bond. So it's easy for us to prepare an article about this topic. And to reuse it, of course, and due this hyperlinks and ID system, it's easy to make connection to social media stuff. So next step will be after we have prepared the layout and we made our selection and we prepared all topics to the articles, we will assign this selection to the current layout.
1 minute left.
Oh, sorry. So yeah, we decide to assign the selection which should be placed. It's prepared in an automatically way. It's handled during the production in a safe way. You are sure to have the same level of actuality of the data in a document in a database. So if we are importing this data, it's always safe. You cannot make a mistake by this structure and this looking for catalogs, because during the production, the same system makes sure you will import the correct data in the correct form, in the correct frames. All data which is prepared text data is stored. You see this green background. It means that if you write something and change something in InCopy or InDesign, you can reuse it in the future, so it will be stored. You can split the production. Somebody can write the big text, somebody can select pictures, somebody can make the proofreading. If you use photos, you see with this yellow, with this green background, that somebody has already checked this picture in the graphic department and corrected. So if you select picture, you will avoid this double work to correct all the time the same picture. There's an advertisement management where you can plan in advance all kinds of adverbs with a safe way, and where the accounting can also prepare reports based on it. And this final overview of the pages, if you you can take a final look, check the status of the pages, check gaps, check comments, check all kinds of data changes. This changes are prepared manually or automatically, or you can even add these changes in the data structure without opening the page, or you can edit it half automatically or completely automatically. The system has always a connection to the database and shows you what has changed, and you decide should it be added or not. You can filter these changes, depends on the time left. When you are ready with the production, the naming is pre-prepared, also the resending is prepared. You see always who sent it, what time sent it. You can pre-prepare another naming convention for Easter, for other holidays. So a brief summary: all departments work in one system. There's an automatic workflow between departments. Many editors can work at the same time in one page. It's easy to bring new stuff in a department, and it's a production from cover to cover in one system. Everything around this technical part is done by the system. And last but not least, one more thing. We are really pandemic proof. Our 20 offices have become home office overnight. Everybody has still his job, and we never experience a drop of productivity.